And we're back with Star Wars Talk here at Coronado High School. I'm joined by a bunch of nerds, believe it or not. Some of those nerds from past and present. I have in the booth with me Ian the Juicinator Eisenberg. Say hi.
What's going on, people?
And we also have all the way from the University of... Oh, sorry. Let me stop that music. University of New Mexico. We have... Marcus. We have...
Jordan.
We have...
Erwin.
We have...
Josh.
We have...
Alex.
We have...
David.
We have... Austin. And this podcast, we recorded one earlier. And this podcast is... we're going to continue with the Star Wars talk. It is... The Force Awakens premiere tonight, Thursday.
6 hours.
In 6 hours.
It's never enough to talk about Star Wars.
It's never enough. That I agree.
Not even an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's
To
true.
be honest.
Sorry if you hear the crackling of the bags, but that's fine. Continue. It's just that
Not
they're
like we're doing a
they're
podcast
working
or
they're
anything.
working up luminarias and they do not know how to
Illuminati?
fold the bags. Not Illuminati, but anyways,
Okay.
here we go. We're gonna continue Star Wars. Erwin, are you gonna cry?
What?
Are you gonna?
I'm kidding.
The minute Han Solo says we're home, you're not gonna burst out
I'm
in
probably
tears.
gonna cry
Again.
again. Okay. What do you guys hope? I don't know how you're gonna ask this question. What are you guys hoping for?
Cooler Jedi's.
That the First Order is not as stupid as the Empire, and that.
And they do not have a what's it called on the Death Star?
Oh yeah, exhaust port.
exhaust port.
Explodes
They
it
don't
up.
have an
I mean, it's bad enough there's a trench in the Star Killer base. You can see that. I'm guessing that's when, if you see in the poster, you see the Star Killer base. It's kind of like in 2, and you see this. Continue with the crackling. This little giant hole. So I'm assuming that's why the planet is kind of splitting in 2. But I hope that the First Order is at least smarter, and that these stormtroopers are 10 times more badass than the last troopers. And these
They
troopers
certainly
actually
look
kill
more.
people.
They look more.
They
bad.
do.
look-
I
they
mean,
do
the
look like
costumes
the design is
themselves.
nice.
The costume, the design is awesome.
I wanted one for Halloween. It was like
That-
400 ripple.
That scene in the trailer when they do like a shot of the everybody's lined up. That looks.
Yeah.
It looks
It's-
nice,
it's
symmetric, and streamlined.
It's
for
long.
And
new age.
it's very
Nostalgic.
feels
Nostalgic to
it
your
feels-
Jewish family.
Wow. It feels very much like the Nazis at Nuremberg to me. And what I think I like most, I talked about a lot of this before, is that J.J. Abrams used a lot of practical costumes. All the costumes are real; they're made. It's not like CGI with the prequels.
That's what we were talking about earlier. That the prequels were like the lazy. They were lazy about because everything was blue screen. What? Do you have something to say? No.
They're not that bad of movies.
Dude, you're sitting there on my rail saying that. Are you okay? Let me just episode 1. You liked it?
No, that was awful.
Then what? That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, episode 2.
Episode 2.
What was so great about it?
I think the Clone Wars is a really interesting premise.
Okay, no.
Yes,
But
yes.
what-
Execution.
Okay, no, the concept
Let's talk
is-
about the
The execution
execution.
was awful.
Then why are you saying it's a great movie?
I didn't say it was a great movie. I just said it wasn't that bad.
Okay, there, like we said earlier, there could have been a lot more Clone Wars going on.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was
They
all
could have
talk.
taken off the Genosha battle, or made it
Geonosis.
Genosha. That's from X-Men. Actually, we're talking about X-Men Apocalypse. In the next...
Let's stay on track with Star Wars.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
I'm being
What were we
producer
saying?
here.
What were we saying?
Prequels, practical effects.
Yes,
all that.
practical effects. I mean, even I think there's some puppets there too that they're gonna
Yeah,
be
no,
using, like
it's
Yoda.
all very little of it is CGI. I mean, yeah, there's some things that are CGI. Obviously, Andy Serkis's Supreme Leader Snoke and Lupita Nyong'o's
Maz Kanata.
Isn't it Mal or Maz?
Maz, M-A-Z.
Oh, Maz Kanata. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously those are going to be computer generated, but they're still based on the actors' movements, and they're going to be very similar to
Well,
Planet
it's
of
gonna
the
just gonna be
Apes.
mocap.
Yeah, motion capture. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
for the slang is mocap, and for us nerds that didn't know what the hell that was, it's motion cap. Stop tapping on the table. Where
It's
it
the
is.
people that dress up in like blue suits and they have like little like
They-
cotton
I've
balls.
seen the on Vanity Fair. I saw the magazine. You see the Lupita Nyong'o with all the white dots because it's gonna grab like each wrinkle from
Yeah.
her face. It's
Yeah.
like any
any
expression.
any movement at all from her face, and you see the same thing with Andy Serkis. He's sitting in like a throne kind of thing, and there's all these rings around him to detect all of his
and
movement.
you know, Andy Serkis has been in a lot of movies, but we don't see him like in the screen. We don't see him as Andy Serkis. We saw him in The Hobbit. I mean, and Lord of the Rings as
Gollum.
Gollum. He was in Planet of the Apes.
He was King Kong in King Kong.
All those movies. He's an awesome actor, but he's a computer.
The first time we really see him as like actual Andy Serkis was probably Avengers: Age of Ultron, where he played what villain was it? He was the South
I haven't
African
seen it either.
arms dealer that gets his arm ripped off by Ultron.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
We'll probably be seeing a lot of him in Black Panther because he's the prime villain.
But then
for Black
again,
Panther.
like it's a lot harder. It's very different to compare a regular actor as to a motion cap actor.
Yeah, no, it's
Because
different.
Not
but-
a lot of people can just be in a suit and pretend they're in a certain environment, while as the actors they actually are in the environment that they.
Yeah,
do.
no, it's very different, and you got to praise those actors that do it.
That's
You would
crazy
probably know this, Ian. Is
good. Crazy good.
Andy Serkis is he a classically trained actor?
I'm
Is
not
he
sure about that, but I'm
Is he a
pretty.
method?
I'm
In
pretty
Lord of the
su-
Rings, he said he was
Method.
so.
Well, you don't as an actor and those who's gone through a lot of acting training, you don't like to say method. It sounds very
Method. Just kidding.
just.
Well, I mean, that's
just,
slang word, I guess. Like, so you know what people like, or so you really know what we're talking about.
I'm assuming, yeah, he's probably. But for this, I'm not sure because from what his talks were to J.J. Abrams, he has no idea even what the character looks like or what he is. He has some basis of it, and they were kind of making up the character as they go.
There's
in
a
some
lot of stuff we
sense.
haven't seen. Like on the trailers, there's a lot.
You haven't
And
seen
you know what I
Max von
hated?
Sydow's
Last
character?
year when the Lost World, well, no, not Lost World,
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World. The preview came out and we were like, oh my god. But every time, like, there was a lot of new trailers leading up to the release of the movie that showed way too much.
Yeah.
It revealed
And
the
I-
whole
Gave it
plot.
away.
It revealed
And I was
the
like,
plot.
I saw way too many stuff that I could have just seen on the movie. And
That's
I
kinda-
think they're starting to do that. I mean, there's some that I don't even watch anymore because I don't even want to see it.
It's kind of like what they're doing with Batman versus Superman right now. Like the latest trailer, it pretty much blew the whole plot. You just saw Doomsday.
You
in
saw
it.
Doomsday.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like you just kind of spoiled the whole movie for me right there.
But what I do like about Star Wars is that we haven't seen
Snoke.
Snoke. We haven't seen who
Max von
Simon Pegg is playing.
We haven't seen Max von Sydow's character.
We haven't. Yeah, exactly. So what we were talking about earlier was that some people think that he's going to be a old Boba Fett because apparently he
could be.
he
I mean-
escaped out of the Sarlacc and he's alive.
Yeah,
which I don't
because
think is
comic
true,
book
but-
wise, he's still alive. I mean, nothing has really happened. so.
But depends on the comic book because Disney ruled a lot of them non-canon.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you were to just see it as a Star Wars universe in a whole, nothing ever like.
Yeah.
If somebody were to happen to Boba Fett, everyone would know because he's not just any bounty hunter.
Yeah,
like
no.
he's the
He's
bounty
Boba
hunter.
Fett.
Yeah, he's like the person. So if something were to happen to him, everyone. Would
Quick
know.
question: do you think we're going to see any Hutts like Jabba the Hutt, or do you think? I hope so too. But do you
I
think?
think he's gonna be like.
No, he's dead,
But-
right?
Jabba
Jabba the Hutt is
yeah,
dead.
no, but like as
But
in,
do we
like,
think we're gonna see
bloodline.
any other
Yeah.
Hutts?
I mean,
Yeah,
there
I
could
mean-
be.
I mean, if
Just
you
to
want,
ex-
if you
Because in
really-
episode 1 we saw what was it? The
Young.
Jabba the Hutt wife or something. We saw
Yeah.
a female Jabba the Hutt.
there was a lot of huts.
Yeah, there's
is
a
what
Hutt
we saw.
There was a
It's
lot-
kinda like a
yeah,
gangster
because it was
sort
during
of-
the pod racing scenes, and it takes place in where?
Tatooine.
And they're in charge of Tatooine.
It'd be nice to see
And
maybe
our
in Hutt.
executive producer Alex Weiro there is laughing because she's sitting looking at us like I'm trapped with a bunch of nerds.
Why
Yes,
are
you
they
are.
executive producer?
Because they don't know what we're doing. Executive producers usually don't know what we're doing.
Well,
Anyways,
producers.
okay, you're going back. Do you think we see in the trailer a
Okay, which trailer?
The
Because I
late-
haven't seen like the last two because I
No.
don't want it to.
the
be
other
like,
one where did you see the one where Ray is crying?
Yeah.
Who? Okay, I'll start with Austin. Have you seen that preview?
No.
Okay, now I'll start with Ian. I'll start with Ian. Ian, who do you think? Why is she crying?
I think she's crying over Chewbacca's dead body.
Jesus Christ. Who do you think dies?
I don't know. I mean, it could be of like various reasons, but like I can't.
Oh, I hope it's
determine.
not Chewbacca. I'll get up and leave.
Yeah, I don't.
There's a rumor that it's either Chewbacca or Han Solo.
It can't be Han Solo. It better not be Han Solo.
I doubt.
I mean,
it.
he's
I
not-
doubt
Let's
it's-
hope it's not.
I doubt it's Han Solo.
We're joining in by Kayla, Ian's sister, who's looking at us like, what the hell's going on? We're doing a podcast for Star Wars because tonight is the premiere. Are you leaving? She's selling popcorn now. Buy 2 bags for $1. We love you. Anyways, back to where
recording.
we are. It's a I'm telling you, we're doing a podcast.
Thanks for joking.
You're gonna edit that out.
No, I'm not. Anyways,
Really quickly.
so again, so we were talking. Okay, we already talked a lot about Star Wars, but I heard that we're gonna see the new Star. I haven't seen it. It's already out on the internet, but the new Star Trek preview. I haven't seen it. I want to watch it on the
Yeah, it's
Star.
gonna be in front of the Star Wars movie, isn't it?
Yes, front tonight, and I think the X-Men Apocalypse, which I already saw. It
With
was
fellow Star Wars alum, or now going to be alum, Oscar Isaac in it.
yes,
As
because
Apocalypse.
who plays Poe.
Poe Dameron.
Poe
and
Dameron. Okay.
The Star Wars.
Is there a big movie that you think we're gonna see a trailer that we do not expect? That we haven't.
Okay, no, wait.
You think we're gonna see a new
um,
Deadpool trailer?
No,
the-
I don't
the
even
new
care.
Deadpool-
Like,
the
I
new-
already know that movie's locked in. Like,
That movie's awesome.
whoever does not like Deadpool should literally like
Die.
crawl. Even if you don't know the comic books, like you could just Google him, watch like a 2-minute video on his character, and you'd be set for the movie.
No,
That's
Deadpool.
amazing.
They're really. If you've been following like the Deadpool social media, they're gonna release a trailer on Christmas Day. I think.
Yeah, they're gonna release from Christmas. They say from Christmas to New Year's.
I'm thinking that we're gonna see a trailer
I say for one of the Star Wars spin-offs, definitely.
for Rogue for what was it? Rogue.
Rogue One.
Yeah,
Rogue
Rogue
One?
One. I think it could be
Okay,
a small
so,
7-second Vine.
Tell me,
teaser.
please tell me somebody. Rogue One takes place between is it after the Clone Wars, leading up to A New Hope? Marcus, can you fact check that for us, please? Marcus Holguin, our fact checker, all knowing about Apple products. Any question you have about Apple or any golden age of cinema
Or
questions?
Samsung because they get their chips on times.
Yeah, Marcus.
There's an article about them going out of the
Marcus,
smartphone business within 6 years.
You can follow Marcus. Look, quick question. Watch this off. Marcus, when was Apple created?
April 1st, 1976.
By
Steve Wozniak, Steve Jobs, and I don't remember the third man. But no one cares about him because Steve Wozniak.
Apparently,
invented everything,
since you
Steve
don't
Jobs
know
sold
about
it,
him.
and
So
we
there
go.
you go. That's our fact checker. And you can follow him at.
I don't really do social media much.
He doesn't do social media. That's right.
Just hand
You
us
can
the-
follow me, but you're not gonna really get much.
We he's fact checking, but for those of you who are listening to us,
2
you can
hours.
you can follow me. Oh, that was Kayla again, just jumping in right now.
He's a weird person.
You can follow me,
Life
Miguel,
and this-
on Twitter at Miguel Mikey 731, which is MIGUEL MIKEY 731. You can follow Jordan at bpunk
BPUNNK.
BPUNNK.
Yeah, and
at
also
Twitter.
on Twitch, which is where I'll be posting these.
Twitch.
Yeah,
This is where we-
twitch.tv/bluebang.
Okay, I don't know what he said. And you can follow Ian the Jew Eisenberg at
At Ian Robbie 923. It's IANROBB 923.
okay. And did you like that cool Wookiee effect he did when at you clear your throat there. Did we find that, Marcus?
I'm looking for it.
I forgot what
I
we
like
were
how you
looking
had
for.
to like go to your.
Oh,
Rogue One. Yeah, Rogue One. So yeah, I think they're gonna show like a small little
You
snippet of
think
it.
so?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think there's gonna be? I haven't read it, but I think I heard that there's not gonna be anything after the credits.
Yeah, they think they say there's not gonna be anything after this.
There's a small chance of it. I mean,
I
because
think it's like 95 to 5, like or whatever.
Okay.
95% chance there's no.
it's like, well, I don't know, cause I mean, Rogue One is still like a good time away. So if they were to show anything
It
of Rogue
opens
One-
today, a year from today,
yeah,
because
so-
next year
yeah,
this
but I
day
mean,
will be a Thursday.
I mean, like showing wise, like when they show, you know how when they show trailers, it's usually not.
I wonder
till,
what
like,
they're gonna have to, the trailer, the teaser is probably March.
Yeah.
I know next year is gonna be May the 4th. They're definitely gonna have to show a trailer of,
Yes,
of Rogue
Yeah.
One.
yes.
I know
like
they're
they
a
did
fan.
at Star Wars
Yeah,
Celebration.
they're gonna do it.
Alex, are you gonna watch Star Wars? Alex, our executive producer. I hope so. Wow.
On New Hope.
How are you the executive producer of the show? I don't know.
Well, it
Anyways,
looks like it's probably going to be about the time between episodes 3 and 4, since Rogue Squadron is a rebel band.
so it's gonna be between.
3 or 4.
Probably 3 and 4.
So the time between
that or
Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
And then-
Yeah, because
And
Wedge
it's gonna
Antilles leads the.
Antilles?
Yeah, or Antilles.
Yeah, so he's gonna. So it's gonna lead up. It's gonna prepare for New Hope for all these people who have not seen. New
Most
Hope.
likely.
Because they're doing away with the nobody's even considered nobody's mentioned anything about the prequels. Midichlorians.
J.J. Abrams said scrap the prequels.
Yeah.
Scrap the all metachlorian
Can you hand me my
BS.
iPad?
Because J.J. Abrams finds them to be completely distasteful.
They were.
They are distasteful.
They are distasteful. Is Andrea back?
No.
No, this is being posted.
I'm sorry, that was our sister here. Hi, and we're joined in the studio by Giovanna. Say hi.
Hello.
Samantha
Hello.
and Bailey.
They all sound the same.
Bailey Eisenberg. Go Steelers, right, Bailey?
Go what?
Go Steelers.
Go Steelers?
Está enamorada de este.
Oh.
Anyways, let me see. Gio, are you watching Star Wars? And
like
she
Clone
is
Wars all over
modeling
again.
some badass Star Wars leggings, which I hate because I need to get some for my wife. Samantha, are you watching Star Wars? Yes. Actually, I am wearing the underwear. Am I? No, I'm not. Like yesterday, I was wearing the underwear, Star Wars underwear that Kayla and Ian gave to me last year for Christmas.
It was after.
But
It was your birthday present. I guess.
Something like that. Samantha, are you watching Star Wars?
My mom and my brother are.
You're not?
You're not?
She's like, mamá, es que mamá, no.
Se me pasa la novela.
What the hell's wrong with you? Number one,
Are you watching it, Bailey?
you're no longer welcome in the house.
Oh,
Even Lisa's seeing it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Lisa's Kayla's mom for all.
And what about? So I guess I'm chopped liver.
You really are though.
Anyways.
Wow. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. Now,
Thanks for.
okay, somebody tell me, are we gonna see Chewbacca's robotic arm in this?
Hopefully.
Probably.
Wait, whoa. When did they say?
Okay,
I
I didn't know this, but apparently, help me out here. A robotic arm happens in the
Like
books.
Yeah, in the comics, I mean, screw it. Well, I don't know because since it does.
Can you
happen
fact check, Marcus? When does Chewbacca have a?
I don't want to spoil anything
I didn't
like from
see
the
anything
comics.
in the trailers.
But like no,
No, I
because
know,
in the
but-
comics,
But he does have a
technically-
bandage.
Yeah,
He does
in
have a
the-
bandage,
In
but-
the comics, he does loses it. You could say, like his arm, and then since J.J. Abrams doesn't really want to like resemble the comics too much, they don't know if it's gonna actually be in the movie. It might if you see the bandage or he I don't know,
Maybe
like
a
does some
shot.
or
when he's
whatever.
raising when they're like under arrest and you
Yeah,
see
he's-
they're
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you could see him like something like that, then you could be like, oh, okay, cool. So they actually.
You know,
put it in
but the only one that's gonna have like a different arm is C-3PO. He also
a
has
red.
a mysterious red
red.
arm.
And I can see somebody's up in the catwalk blinking their lights over here, so that's wonderful. That's scary.
Okay,
That's
so-
spooky.
I have an announcement.
So,
Go ahead.
What?
Is that Victoria?
Did we finish the chips from lunch?
Oh,
You interrupted the podcast.
They're under the. thing.
I have an announcement.
chips.
Well, I want to go home.
Soda, because
Yes.
So the other day, right? You know the pop figurines, like the one that I got for the other day?
Yes.
We got one of the new C-3PO Force Awakens one, and it has the arm in it, so that means that.
Yeah, the red arm is for sure.
We know the red arm.
But I don't know about the Chewbacca
What is
arm.
the red arm about, though?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna find that out.
I
Now
don't
we're
want to
gonna
fact
find
check it because
red?
Anyway.
most of them are in spoilers websites.
no,
So
never mind.
we
Don't
wanna
fact
spoil
check.
anything for our viewers.
Ian is leaving us now. Ian, we'll
I'll
see
be
you
the same.
tonight
See you tonight.
at the preview in about 5 hours from now. Kayla, I love
I'll
you.
see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Bring me
Uh,
money tonight.
yes. Is Ana Samantha leaving too?
I don't know.
¿Te va a llevar esta?
No,
Oh, okay. And then- Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Goodbye. My thoughts are go First Order. It better be better than the Empire, and Kylo Ren's gonna be badass.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Oh.
Question. Who knows? Okay. Jordan, I don't know if you were here when we were talking about this. Jordan.
Probably not.
Jordan.
What's that? That's
Is Rey, Han Solo, and Princess Leia's daughter? Thank you,
I don't
Jordan.
think so, right? Because isn't there already the Anakin and the other person?
Well, there's a good
That's
slight
comic book,
there's a good there's a good chance. Like I mean, I don't know if they're probably gonna mention it. You're probably gonna have to figure it out on your own. But I don't think they're gonna be like this is the. But I'm pretty sure that if all the like us out of us, if you see it, you're just like yeah, that's definitely it. But I don't think they're gonna like mention it right away to the public, but I think there's a good chance they could put it in there. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Marcus, do you help me out here. You reread Star Wars Heir to the Empire or Throne?
Well,
The one with the guy with the white beard.
yeah, no, I think it was Heir to the Empire would make more sense.
Okay. I don't remember exactly what I read, so
Yeah, I don't remember it much either.
that must have
I know there's
hurt.
2 other books.
If you heard that, that was somebody hitting the pole.
Executive producer.
The executive
And
producer
not hitting
Alex.
the ball in that
She was gonna
way.
try and jump over the rail, and this is the girl who fell backwards on her head while on the pole, and she got a concussion. And this is true. This is
sound like she's a stripper.
no.
I mean, if the show
the-
does all, I mean, that's an opportunity.
anyways,
It's Heir to the Empire.
Jesus.
But it's also part of a trilogy, kind of
Yes.
the aftermath of. After
Can you give
episode 6.
Can you let me turn the microphone over here so you can give a quick synopsis of this book.
Okay.
Go.
Well, Heir to the Empire kind of sets the stage more for the rest of the trilogy of the book series. So it's more of an establishing of the characters and the new, the new villains of the Empire that survived, and it brings in the old cast of like Lando and Han, and Leia, who's training to become a Jedi. So that's the majority of it. Basically.
Do you think? I don't think Leia's gonna be a Jedi in this one. Do you think there's something?
Probably not.
Probably
I
not.
think that they're probably going to introduce newer.
There's
characters
another
for that.
villain in the book. And I can't remember his name. But
Yeah, I
have
don't
no-
remember. There's like an Imperial officer or something
Yes.
like that that's in charge of.
But it probably has nothing to do with the. Oh, so they didn't take anything from the books, right? They just started from scratch.
It would make sense that they should.
That's what J.J. Abrams was saying. I mean, that's what's speculated of him.
And it makes sense because there's way too many. I mean, the
There's
Star Wars
so
universe,
much, like the lore of it. There's
like
oh my God,
way too
it's
much stuff. Like,
ridiculous.
yeah. So, like, are we gonna see Mara Jade?
Like,
Probably not.
Probably not. For those of you who don't know, Mara Jade is Luke Skywalker's wife, who has twins. No, they don't have twins.
no,
Well, they have
it's
kids.
not twins. Yeah, they have
But
kids. But
Mara
okay.
Jade, red hair, Jedi person. Anyways,
Yeah, I think Luke
I
will
don't
probably
think
be
we'll see
single.
her.
Yeah, no, the lore is too much, especially for people who just like stick to the films. And there's sometimes like, what are you talking about? It's like, it's hard.
what is that? That was not a fart.
It was my phone, sorry.
It is 4:45 in the PM, ladies and gentlemen, and we are getting ready for Star Wars: The Force Awakens. It is Thursday, December 17th. I've been waiting for this movie.
All your life.
I've been waiting.
It's gonna be the first.
It's. I'm gonna watch it tonight with my wife and my father, and I still remember going to watch the originals with my father, and it's gonna be kind of like
Nostalgia.
It's gonna
nostalgic,
be
yeah, 'cause I
nostalgic
get-
still.
But I don't think he's gonna enjoy. But see, now my dad's at the age where, now my dad's at the age where we start watching a movie at the movie theater, and he falls asleep. So when we rent it and we watch it at home, he's all like, "I don't remember this." Like, you were asleep the whole movie.
Of course
fool.
you didn't.
Of course you remember.
Of course it.
You'll
Oh,
have to wake
I
'em up in the
also
middle.
wanted to add. I don't know if any of you have seen Star Wars Rebels.
No,
I've
I
seen a
heard
little
that
bit
that's
of
the
the
new
show.
show, right? Is
yeah,
it good?
It's on season 2. Yeah,
It was
is.
pretty good when I.
But okay, so the main character from there, it's Keenan and it's Ezra, the guy that's training to become a Jedi. So he eventually he meets up with Ahsoka Tano, and Ahsoka like gives him all this mission briefing and stuff. I'm not gonna get too much into the spoilers of it, but he eventually wants to be like a super like high end type of Jedi. Like he wants to be up there. He wants to meet like Mace Windu, and he wants to be like all these people. So he has like this talk with Keenan, his Jedi master and everything. And so he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll make it like in 3 or 4 years. So I don't know how much that lifespan is gonna be because Rebels takes place after the Clone Wars. I don't know if it's shortly after the Clone Wars and on Revenge of the Sith. No, I'm lying because it is after Revenge of the Sith because season 2 is with Darth Vader in it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be between episode 3 and episode
Yeah.
4, kind of the backstory behind.
Right. So he's a teenager still there from episode 3 on to 4. So and they were talking that he was gonna be like a super big character like in the future for Star Wars. So I don't know if they're gonna incorporate him in the future movies. Not this one. I really doubt they're gonna put him in this. But they said that they wanted to incorporate him in the future movies because he's gonna become
Star Wars
like-
Rebels takes place when?
after Revenge of the Sith and before New
Yeah.
Hope.
It's kind of supposed to be that formation of the Empire, kind of
Yeah.
how they got the Empire fully formed, all the
Okay,
planets
because when
entwined
we
in it.
last leave Revenge of the Sith, it's Darth Vader and Admiral Grand Moff
Tarkin, yes.
Yes, and they're
They're
looking,
overseeing the
right?
Death Star's
Okay.
construction, yes.
and it was like not even built all the way.
No,
Right.
So this
yeah, this
will
is kind
lead
of
up.
right.
to
This is
that.
kind of also brings in that kind of plot of forming the government, like how the transition from being a republic to Emperor Palpatine's declaration of we're an empire now, and kind of how the Rebel Alliance sort of started to form, and kind of the Empire's movements at that critical point.
In episode 4, like when they're having when we see Darth Vader first choke the
Yeah.
guy, this is the Imperial Senate. There's still mention of the Imperial Senate.
Right.
There's mention, but I guess that's when after that, the Imperial Senate is no more, right? It's nothing, or
Well, it's still in effect because it didn't get disbanded until they were on the Death Star. So, like in the movie, they actually say it just got disbanded. So, in the whole series, there's still kind of that effect, and you can kind of see some of the politicians in the show. Kind of,
okay. And
that
you've
are
seen
involved.
the Rebels. You've
I've seen
the show.
parts of it.
Have you seen it, Erwin? Has anybody else seen that show, Alex? Alex is looking for food right now. Make sure you don't hit yourself, please. Well, I just got this thing on Facebook. They just tagged me on it, and it says, meet the unlikely voices behind the Force Awakens BB-8. Apparently, 2 well-known actors, but people that you would not think about, are voicing BB-8. Any ideas who it is?
I forget who it was.
No, not Miley Cyrus.
I had seen that before. I don't remember who they were.
It is SNL alum Bill Hader, which makes no sense, and funny guy Ben Schwartz, perhaps best known as Jean Ralphio on Parks and Recreation. I don't remember that, so but apparently it was voiced by 2 people. I don't know.
Well, it makes sense that they should try to get big names into this because this is going to be like the big movie of
Yes.
this year, probably of our lifetime.
Do you think it's going to surpass Titanic
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
in less of a time, or
oh yeah. No, it's gonna.
you
It's,
leaving?
I'll be back. I'm just gonna go open the door.
Okay, Jordan is stepping out for a way, but thank you for joining us.
For a quick second.
Joining us back in the studio, Sophia, say hi.
Hi.
Alvaro. Hey. And Andrea.
Hello.
Your food's over there, Andrea. Do you think it's okay? It's gonna
Okay,
surpass Titanic.
yes, because going into the movie, there's already a giant Star Wars fan base. The media's with it. You know, the critics are with it. So when Titanic came out, critics were against it. You know, and that they thought it was going to fail and all that. And you know, the history buffs and all that, they would not really enjoy it as an historical film.
They didn't.
I myself do not enjoy it necessarily.
I know.
as a historical
Okay,
film.
and for
But
those
as
of
a-
you
as
who
a
don't
film-
know Marcus is old time. Like he's how old are you?
18.
18. He's an 84-year-old trapped in an 18-year-old's body.
Yeah, that's a good description.
He knows more about classic films that I wish to care about. He knows everything there is to know. I didn't know there was an original Titanic. Did you know there was an actual first Titanic movie?
There was also that wasn't even the original Titanic movie. There was actually in 1912
Listen to this, 1912.
there was an actress that actually sailed on the Titanic, and after the disaster, she made a movie called "Saved from the Titanic." We don't have that nowadays because it was burned in a warehouse, but she did make the original
So
Titanic
we can't
film.
find it anywhere.
Right,
Nowhere.
it's nowhere to be found because it burned up in a warehouse. But it was an actual Titanic film made in 1912, shortly after the disaster, by a survivor.
And mind you, that his email is
mhtitanic16@gmail.com.
that's his email. In case you have questions about the Titanic or Apple, he'll go ahead and answer them. And social media. When Titanic came out, there wasn't a lot of social
Right,
media.
yeah, because the internet was
Yeah,
just barely coming out.
it was being conceived by.
Yeah, so there was none of this share this thing or liking the new trailers that come out.
Yeah, so
or-
now
That and
social
also-
media.
Well, let
Go
me
ahead.
also add that it's kind of difficult to compare Star Wars and Titanic because Star Wars is like this giant franchise that also you can merchandise it. You can
Yes.
there's-
Titanic.
You
can
can't
sell
you-
a blue gel.
Yeah,
a
well,
blue
you can't
gem.
really merchandise a disaster that actual people died in. So
Do you think it's gonna surpass? Okay, let's talk. Okay, let's give. Let me. Yeah, it sounds more like apples to oranges, right? Compare.
Yeah.
How about the lost world? I mean, Jurassic World.
Well, I think that
What?
like Jurassic World, I think it's going to be kind of oriented towards a newer generation that maybe didn't grow up with the classic version.
Yes.
But I think that it's going to have a different approach to it. Like Jurassic World kind of mirrors somewhat the storyline of the Jurassic Park series. You know, I mean,
And we see little Easter eggs, little tidbits from
Right,
the previous
and
movie.
I don't-
How you get a Jeep to start after 40, whatever. But okay,
right? Yeah,
continue.
and I mean it's Jurassic Park was originally a book series designed
Mm-hmm.
to just be, you know, Jurassic Park and then the Lost World Jurassic Park, and they kind of intertwined. But then, as the
Because it starts
franchise
from
grew,
the okay. I know we're going off a topic,
yeah,
but I did not realize that the Lost World. No, Jurassic Park, the novel, starts off like Jurassic World started
Right.
off in the movie.
yeah,
Because they took pieces from this book and they put it on this one. And
yep.
took,
And
so
the book and the movie are quite different
Yeah,
from
they're
each other. Yeah,
way different.
they just kind of have a similar idea, but
I
then
kind of like. Well, not I kind. I like Jurassic. Don't get me wrong. Jurassic Park, when it first came out in 1993, that movie changed the way we see movies. But also, and the book was pretty good. It was more graphic. I wish it could have been more like. Even though a lot of people didn't take their kids because it was too dark, even though it was rated PG, I think. But anyways, that was back in the day.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to. Do you think a movie would be, in this day and age now? If a movie is not if a movie is not does not attach itself social media wise, do you think it's going to do? Would it do as good as as they think?
Well, the important thing about any movie is going to be word of mouth. I mean, if you don't advertise in some way, I mean, then no one's going to know about it. Or like, you know, you're not going to go see a movie that you never heard of or anything like that. Or, you know, some people aren't very trusting about a movie that no one's talking about at all. So there has to be a little bit of that word of mouth out there. I mean, if you look at Apple's success, it comes a lot from the advertising. And like any successful company, you have to advertise a lot, you know, and get kind of this, get the word of mouth. You have to go into social media. You got to get on TV, just somewhere that you just put yourself out there and get people to, you know, come. But you also have to have your movie kind of stand up on its own. Like, you know, I have the advertising to get people over there, but the advertising is going to do absolutely nothing if you have a piece of, you know, junk that
Yeah.
you made as a film, because then everyone's going to be saying, oh, don't watch this movie, it
Yeah.
sucks.
Sophia, are you going to watch Star Wars?
Probably not.
Andrea, one of those, the rice bowl was mine.
What?
One of those bowls was mine. Your mom said. Your drink's in the fridge.
Wait, where's my food?
Right there, Mika, I told you.
Oh.
Oh my
You
God.
pointed to the fridge,
No, your drink's in the fridge. The food's inside that box. Sorry guys, we
have a
there's
food
a lot
crisis.
of people there. We had a food crisis.
First world problems.
Do you think? Okay. Some people have talked about this, but do you think Steven Spielberg will direct one or the other? They already have a director for episode 8, but not for episode 9. Now, for those of you who don't know, Steven Spielberg did want to direct one of the movies from the original trilogy, but could not because George Lucas pissed off the Directors Guild. Am I right?
I don't
Something
know.
like that.
I also heard a story about how Steven Spielberg and George Lucas has kind of made an agreement that one would do the Indiana Jones franchise and the other would be able to do the Star Wars franchise.
I didn't hear that one, but I heard that George Lucas pissed off the Directors Guild or something like that, and he wasn't part of the guild, so Spielberg was, so he couldn't direct it because it was, I don't know. But what was the name of the director for episode 5? Erwin Kirshner? He passed away last year. I wish he would have been alive to watch this and give us his opinion. Because George Lucas said he likes it, but he liked episode 1. So
Yeah, he made it.
and he made episode 1, 2, and 3. Andrea, are you watching Star Wars?
No.
Are you gonna watch it with your boyfriend? Oh, they
No.
broke up. I'm sorry, guys.
Wow. Wait,
Sorry.
is this live or something?
Yes, my executive producer Alex. Are we good on time?
4:58.
Hey, okay, we're good on time. Thank you. Alex
Yeah.
Weary just hit herself on a
Irvin Kershner is the
Aaron Kirshner. Okay. Marcus, what do you summing up? What do you expect? What do you want to when you walk out of the theater? I don't even know. I'm so excited. When you walk out of the theater, what do you want to leave with?
Well, I anticipate that episode 7, like, I want to go in there and kind of get, like, a good movie that you go in there and you get enough plot line, enough thickness, you get enough characters that are introduced. But then you go into there and you know that there's going to be 2 other episodes at least after this one. So kind of get an idea that you have this introduction sort of movie, and then kind of leave it where it's like you wanting more, like there's going to be a thicker plot.
Do you think that people have not seen the other episodes would know? Do you think the plot's gonna be so good that they're gonna know what without having to watch episode? Not even the prequels, just episode 4, 5, and 6.
Well, if we assume that J.J. Abrams kind of does what they did for Jurassic World, where you kind of tune in.
There's like little bits.
Yeah,
and
just kind of like
pieces
suggestion of the old
sporadically
one,
around the
but
world.
then that you do your own thing. That it's like if the new age was to come in and not even have heard of the franchise before, that they could go in there, just pick up with the storyline,
Which I hope there's nobody out there that has not heard about Star Wars. That would just be
Right.
completely crazy.
Plus, I mean, if you take it kind of like Episode 4, I mean, Episode 4 kind of jumped in the middle of things. You have a war that started, they're stealing plans. You have the Rebel Alliance, the Empire, and you had to go through the movie to kind of understand the concept.
Yeah, because when episode 4 came out, there was no 3, 2, 1.
Right, there was
to
no
know
like
what the heck we were talking about.
Yeah, and you're just like, here's Darth Vader, and you're like,
And
there's-
then you're right. So do you think that we'll have plot twists that we're gonna have to wait for episode 8?
I think so. I think they're gonna want us.
I hate that.
I think they're gonna leave us wanting more.
Because episode 8's gonna come out in 2017. Yeah, because next year is Rogue One, then 17 is episode 8, and then the other movie, and then episode. God in heaven, are we even gonna be alive by then?
Who knows? But I think they will. I mean, if they're smart, they're anticipating that they're going to continue on with this. So I don't think they're going to try to cram an entire what they could do over the span of 3 movies into 1 2.5 hour.
They're
film.
just gonna play it out.
Yeah, like if it would probably make a thicker plot and make a more interesting story if they
It's just like
broke
Marvel.
it down into 3.
Like Marvel, they're just throwing one after the other, and the timeline's going smoothly.
Yeah.
There's been some, like bumps. Wolverine, the first one, but I don't know what I.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't even know. When I leave the theater, I know I'm gonna be probably crying. I want to walk out and be like, oh my god, they got it right. I know.
Do you want me to answer that?
No.
Oh,
I this is what I was waiting for the last 20 years. And I hope that all these new kids it's a, how can I say it? It's different for me who grew up watching the movies
Right.
and didn't have social media and all these games. It was just that.
Right.
So I hope and I hope this movie I don't know. I just hope it doesn't screw me over.
Yeah. Well, I think the movie.
Continue talking.
I think J.J. Abrams knows that if he fails at making this movie, that it's over. Like, if you upset the giant fandom of Star Wars, then you just upset a whole market. You're never gonna be able to make another movie.
Then it's done.
Yeah, you just
Down the
basically
drain.
you killed it. No matter what you advertise, no matter what you sell, it's done. So,
Sorry, I just got
so-
a prank call from in the booth up in the.
Yeah.
Up in the
So
couch.
I'm sure they know they have a lot riding on it, and they know that they've not only have the new generation, but also the older generations that grew up with Star Wars. I mean, I'm sure J.J. Abrams kind of knows a little bit about that growing up.
Well,
with,
I heard in an interview that he said, when I first saw the Star Wars, and on some of the Steven Spielberg movies was, that's when he realized that he wanted to be a filmmaker. I hope that when younger kids below the age of 10, when they watch The Force Awakens, they can be like, this is what I want to do in my life. I want to go to school, get into directing and creating movies, because it's sad that now, 2015, there's a lot of cool movies coming out, but there's a lot of movies with no production. They just like they found a script. They attached a A-list actor to it with no storyline whatsoever.
Hire
and
computer generate.
It's making $300 million in the first weekend. Fast and Furious 7, really? We already have 7. I haven't seen any of them. Raise your hands if you've seen all of the 7 movies. You guys are a bunch of losers, all of you. Three hands went up right now. But I mean, I can see Andrea watching it because she's ghetto. But I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think with Star Wars, I think they would stop making them if they started realizing, that they were beating up the storyline. Like sometimes it's like, okay, the first one of the series was good. The second one, okay, you can tolerate it. Then it's like
the
now
Rocky
you're starting
movies.
to beat the dead horse.
Like the Rocky movies. Number 1 was good. Number 2 was good. Number 3, okay. By the 5th one, like Sylvester Stallone, stop. But now, I don't know if any of you went to go watch Creed, and he comes out in it. So it was a very good movie. Very good movie.
See, I feel like Star Wars has a lot more room to, develop different storylines. There's a lot more places that they can go because it's just this wide open universe with a whole plethora of characters to work with. Whereas like some franchises, they just are like, okay, well, it was a good franchise, but there wasn't really much more.
They don't know what to do. They just recycle.
Yeah,
whatever.
they're just like, well, just have the same storyline, but throw them in a different setting, But like Star Wars, you have
Rocky fights in space.
or something.
Yeah, but Star Wars, it's like
Jesus.
you're gonna have. We have already 6 different sorts of episodes with different a room for gaps for like the Clone Wars to be expanded upon, or the formation of the Empire.
Exactly.
And now you're gonna have 3 more that they have this opportunity now that the Empire's
Fill
gone.
in the gaps.
Yeah, and I mean you can bring in new bad guys. Different planets have different sorts of different
Jakku
things going on
from
with
the
it.
Outer Rim. Okay, well, we've been talking for the last 40 minutes about everything. Star Wars, everything. Titanic, Andrea's Andrea's breakup. And but FYI, all of you kids, one of my tech kids brought me a Christmas present, brought me this, a cup. Can you pass me the cup?
I'm gonna bring
please?
you a Christmas present, Star
And
Wars.
you guys ate all my cat. Where are my stickers? And a little thing of stickers.
Stickers, yeah. Sadie almost
And,
used them.
So bring me Star Wars stuff for Christmas. I'm just kidding.
Ever.
Anybody not watching Star Wars here who does not care to watch Star Wars? Alvaro and Andrea. They will not be allowed into the booth anymore.
Aw.
Oh, wait. Both of you. That's probably why you are alone, because you don't.
My ex-boyfriend loves Star Wars.
Maybe you should hook up with him again just to go watch Star Wars and then dump him.
Nah.
The thing is, I
I'd
feel
rather
like
watch it alone.
I'm not in the fandom, and it's already too late for me.
It's never too late.
It's never too late
You just have to watch it a few times.
to get the gist of
Each
it.
one a few times.
I don't know.
My
these
dad
kids.
likes it.
Well, yeah. He wishes you would so you could be normal. I'm just kidding. I'm
Yeah,
just
he does, 'cause you turned out normal.
Too far.
Moving on.
Moving on. Before I punch him in the face.
Yeah, we have a weird.
I'm here. We're here again in the studio with. Go ahead, state your names.
Marcus.
David. Irwin.
Alex.
Alex is our executive producer.
Other Josh.
Other Josh, not the one that gives massive hickeys, but that's another Josh. We'll tell the story next time. But anyways,
Bailey.
I don't know. Oh, and Bailey's here. Bailey
In the
is
corner on her
the
phone.
associate. She's in charge of lighting here in the studio. She's also a great dancer, great performer, and she is. She's auditioning for the role in Oklahoma, which will be put on by the Coronado Theater, Dance, and Choir. And we're joined here also by Sophia, who's also a very good dancer. She yells a lot, but she's very loud.
And she burps.
But she's a very good dancer, I will say this. And we were talking about Star Wars. It's 5 in the p.m., 5:10. 5:08. And we're just building up to Star Wars because it's going to start in 5 hours. My life will change in 5.5 hours. You guys know that.
We're gonna all get blown up on the group chat.
No, I'm not going to. My phone is gonna be off. I don't even think I'm gonna take my phone in there because I don't. I can't. I won't.
I just hope that Disney doesn't like
Ruin it.
because I can already tell that they're milking it for everything it's worth.
Can you repeat that, please, again?
I can already tell that just Disney's trying to milk it for just because it's a huge franchise, that they're just trying to milk it for everything it's worth, and I just hope they don't ruin it.
You think they would ruin it?
If they do it enough, like I've already seen like 3 games that are coming out before the movie has even.
And that's gonna give it away.
Yeah, and it's
And
like.
they're all sponsored by Disney.
Yeah.
Well, because
and then,
Disney owns Star Wars now.
Yeah, but
Well, that's
the
it.
thing.
Yes,
But
but
have you
that's
realized that they've been like remaking all of the old classic Disney movies, and like some of them are good. Like Maleficent was pretty good, but then there's like I don't know.
You know, Beauty and the Beast is coming out.
Yeah,
Yes.
Beauty and the
Well,
Beast.
well, I know
is
Josh Gad's in it, and Emma Watson is playing
Yeah.
Belle. Like
That's what I was like.
yeah.
And then Jungle Book is coming out, and like I don't know how to feel about
Why-
Jungle Book.
Yes. Why would
Tarzan.
Scarlett Johansson be the snake?
Yeah, like.
I have an answer. It's because the director didn't want a predominantly, dominantly male cast in the movie, so he added Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, because if you don't now, okay, nowadays if you do not include the same amount of women to men ratio, you are a sexist, and you're gonna go to hell, and your movie's not gonna. And that's I mean, I'm all for equality. I'm like, I think women should make the same amount of money as men. But when it interferes stupidly like that, like, oh, I'm gonna go deeper here, and I don't want to offend anybody.
You're gonna offend someone. It's
I'm
not-
probably gonna
someone's
offend
gonna-
somebody.
2015.
You can't
Okay.
even say Merry Christmas without offending someone.
Exactly. Okay, let me go
Let
back.
them cups
Let me
up.
go back a little bit. Well, I love black people. I do. A lot of my friends are black. One of my pastor is black, and I love her, and she is awesome. Why did we have to cast a black Human Torch in the latest Fantastic Four movie?
They didn't even follow the plot. It's just like I
heard that movie bombed.
It was
Exactly.
it's not. It's not supposed to be like that. I get it. They were trying to put equality instead, but honestly, they can't have it where it's like messing up the comics, or the comic fans are gonna get
and
mad.
that's why it was a flop. It's not because people are racist, but because you cannot go in. It's like, oh, we're gonna make
the Thing black.
or we're gonna make Captain America. We're gonna make Captain America a woman,
Latino.
a Latina,
black
because
woman.
a Latino, because he's gonna Mexicans are gonna be or Hispanics are gonna be offended.
Because he's
That
Captain
needs
America.
to exactly. And people
gotta
wouldn't
be
care.
white.
But people wouldn't. But the studios wouldn't care. Be like, oh, let's just do it because I know. No. Anyways,
No.
but I digest.
Most of those victories that they claim are victories come from just forcing people into doing it. I mean, there's not that feeling of equality. It's just kind of that forced equality,
Yes, it's forced big
and
time.
it becomes an issue.
Honestly, I didn't even know the Fantastic Four movie came out.
Yeah,
This entire time I've been like, when is it coming out? A few days ago.
yeah, it
they're
came
like,
out, but
already
it
came out.
bombed.
It
Now a
was-
lot of
it was
people also
terrible.
say, a lot of people say that it bombed because, well, I don't know if anybody can help me out with this because I'm not really sure. I think Jordan could, but he left. He'll be back. Fox has the rights for
It does, because Marvel
But it hasn't-
hasn't reclaimed it yet, so it's just like Fox still has it.
has the
so it was
rights
like
for X-Men and a Fantastic Four.
yeah.
Why haven't we seen another Hulk movie from Marvel? Because Universal Studios is in charge. Has the rights to Hulk. I wish all this rights could be given just to Marvel because Marvel's been doing a good job about
Yeah.
the movies. X-Men Apocalypse, I saw the preview today.
Yes!
Oh my god.
I wanna
That
see
looked-
that.
Okay, calm down.
It's one of my favorite like upcoming movies. It's the last one. Hugh Jackman's gonna be
Age
in.
of Ultron, I haven't seen it, but I heard it was
Son
good.
have
It was
Was
amazing.
it good? Was
It
it
was
good?
amazing.
Yes, it was.
I love Scarlet Witch in that movie. Scarlet Witch is one of my favorite female superheroes, and she's just awesome.
Okay, and he's
The-
flipping his hands.
I
over.
just heard that Quicksilver was hot, so.
Okay, thank you for that tip.
Good job, Alex.
But back to what we were saying. Star Wars will change anybody who has not seen Star Wars. It's gonna change your life. I hope you can go out tonight or tomorrow.
Or the
Before
day
you
after
watch
that.
the movie, at least rent. We can't even rent anymore. What am I talking about?
No.
What is this? 1990 where you can go to Blockbuster?
Oh, Blockbuster's
Download
still
Show
here.
Box
Oh,
to
Blockbuster's
movies.
still here.
We still
Now
have
it's
a
stream or preview or something.
Netflix.
Wait, if
No,
anybody
it's
knows,
not on Netflix.
if
No,
no,
Netflix?
it's gonna be next year. If anybody knows
think
this,
so,
if anybody
right?
knows the
Yeah.
answers to this question, it's gonna be Marcus. Marcus, is the trilogy actually the original the trilogy? All 6 of them, are they available on iTunes?
Oh yeah, they came out with the
Here we go.
the
See, he
big
gets
hype-
excited.
The big hype with this past year is that they all 6 episodes were finally released for digital purchase. So in iTunes, you can buy all 6 of them in either separately or in a bundle. They also have iTunes extras in them.
How much
so
how much is the bundle? Do you
the
know?
bundle? It was when it came out first. It was on sale for $80, I believe, and now it's at $90.
Okay.
$89.99.
Does it include behind the scenes stuff?
Oh yeah. It comes with the iTunes extras, which is
So
the special
all 6
effects.
movies
all 6 of them
for $90
in HD.
In HD. Okay.
Yeah.
Now tell me this. How does that work? I buy it. I purchase it. Can I watch them on my cell phone, on my iPhone, on my iPad, on my?
You can watch them anywhere that's synced with your iCloud account.
Okay.
Yeah, which means that either you can download it physically onto your hard drive or just stream it
Stream it from
your iCloud. Because when you purchase from iTunes, it stores it in under your iCloud account as a purchase, so that anything that's synced with it, you can watch within your Videos app. That's
Okay.
synced with your iCloud account.
For those of you just joining us,
And you can buy it with iTunes
this is
gift cards.
Marcus who's speaking. He is all iTunes, all Apple. He knows everything about it. What year was Steve Jobs fired from Apple?
This would be 1985, I believe. It was the year after the Macintosh came out and basically flopped. But
Look it up. He knows what's out. Anything
he came
Apple,
back
he
in
knows.
1997.
If you break that, Erwin, I'm gonna break your face. Somebody's getting a phone call. Star Wars, The Force Awakens, 5 hours away. This is gonna be the biggest movie
Of the year
In-
and probably of
in
our
history?
lifetimes.
No.
I mean,
It might make the most money of any movie.
can you? Okay, our fact checker here is gonna fact check what is the all-time grossing movie. It's gotta be Titanic. I think it's Titanic.
Maybe it used to be Gone with the Wind as far as like expenditure and made because
Parentheses.
Okay,
Gone with the
I
Wind.
guess kind of comparable to the Star Wars Episode 7 release is probably Gone with the Wind. Probably the most hyped up movie ever made because the book came out in '36 and was so beloved by the nation that they just demanded every company that was making movies in the 30s was fighting for the rights to make Gone with the Wind.
And who got the rights? Is that
And-
MGM?
No, it wasn't. Who did get the rights? Well, no, because let's see. Okay, well, David O. Selznick, the producer, he got the rights for it. I forget which company it was, but the guy that did the composition, Max Steiner, he also did the composition for a movie called Jezebel that had Betty Davis in it, and that was supposed to kind of be her role. It was supposed to be kind of a different version of Gone with the Wind because the company that made it didn't get the rights for it, and that one I believe was a Paramount picture. No,
It could have been Paramount.
It's possible it was Paramount, but I don't know.
What did I tell you to fact check? Oh, but the all time,
Yeah.
yes. Now, but also take into consideration that back then, I think you're the one that told me this, that movies were released to theaters, but were left like the whole year.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, because there was no DVDs. There was no watching it
VHS,
outside of.
yeah.
There was no TV.
You couldn't
really.
wait for the direct to home or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, you couldn't watch it at home.
And
You had
it
to
was
watch
not
it
going
in
to
a
be
theater.
straight. It wasn't going to be shown on TV, on network television. Back
Right.
then, we only had CBS, NBC,
Yeah,
and
3 channels,
ABC.
and they only
3
were like
channels,
30
that was it.
minutes to an hour.
And Gone with the Wind is almost 3 hours.
It's almost 4 hours.
Almost 4 hours.
Yeah.
And the company you were looking for was Selznick International Pictures.
Okay, so
Selznick International Pictures. That's our other producer, David, who is fact checking for us, and that is wonderful. Oh, so he was right, huh? Bailey just checked. Marcus, yes. Apple CEO John Scully's 1985 firing of Steve Jobs. Wow, you were right. 1985.
Yep, and he's making a cell phone now.
Is he?
Yeah, it's an Android phone, but there was some hype about its design being
why
a
is
little
he
bit
not the
different.
Why did he stop being the CEO? of Apple?
Because so what most people don't know about Apple is that prior to 1997, Apple was fairly irrelevant, and from 1984, from the introduction of the Macintosh, there was kind of this battle between Apple's Steve Wozniak's computer that came out prior to that called the Apple II, which was this really nice high-powered machine for that time period, of course. Steve Jobs really wanted to push the GUI, the graphical user interface design of the Mac OS with the Macintosh, which was less powered and more expensive than the Apple II. That computer ended up winning the battle for supremacy in the Apple mind. And from 1984 to 1997, Apple almost went bankrupt. There were jokes.
Apple was almost bankrupt?
Yeah. Under John Sculley, he got kicked out because, they were doing the exact same thing. And by 1997, if Steve Jobs hadn't brought out the iMac, then Apple probably wouldn't cease to exist. Everyone was
right now. We would have no iPhones. Maybe.
Right. People are making the joke that you would have to buy for people that owned Apple computers. That they were making these jokes that you'd have to go to a hobby shop in order to fix them up. You'd have to know how to actually fix them. But then Apple bounced back from that.
And now we have Jordan, who is anti-Apple. He's
Since when?
just kidding. So, what is the all-time grossing movie of all time? And Jordan's back in the studio. He had to go. He forgot to leave his house key, and his mom made him go and open it.
Yeah. Sadly.
Yes.
Let's see here. Well, as far as highest grossing, they claim Avatar, but
Oh, Avatar beat Titanic.
But the claims only usually refer to the theatrical revenues, not the home and television
talking about-
videos. Do we want to just do the release theater, or do we want like in total?
In total.
Okay. That's gonna take a little bit more digging into.
I think it's Titanic.
Possibly. Let's see. Lion King earned $2 billion, but then the stage adaptation got
Thank you
more.
for those background vocals. Alex Weir, our producer. Thank you.
Oh, here we go. Okay. So highest grossing films. Yeah. So Avatar, then Titanic. Jurassic World is number 3. On that
Avatar,
list.
Titanic, both directed by James Cameron,
yes.
director of Terminator Judgment Day, by the way.
Yes.
So
probably mainly for their love stories, I would say.
So Avatar, Titanic,
Jurassic World,
Jurassic,
The
give me
Avengers,
the top 5. Avengers,
and Furious 7.
Wow, Fast and Furious. That's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
How is that movie still relevant?
I think
there's 7 of them.
I think it's because of Paul Walker, right?
Yeah, I think definitely.
I think that was what kind of did
got
it.
him a lot.
My wife cried when he found it. We were at Village Inn with some friends eating dinner, and I got I always get I get everything on my phone, like all the, and then actor Paul Walker dies in car crash, and I'm like, I didn't know who he was.
Wasn't that a tad bit ironic?
And then yes,
Yes.
irony at its finest.
Yeah, that's why people got upset when you said he went too fast, too furious.
Wow.
Marcus with the jokes.
Everyone was just like.
My wife was like,
too
"Oh my God, that's Paul Walker!" Like, who the hell is Paul Walker? And then I found out that it was him.
I mean, I grew up with the first one. That's why I.
Yeah, they should maybe a sequel, but
like,
7.
I had feel. No. That's just like Transformers. Like that.
Oh, Transformers.
A lot.
How many of them
It's
are
a
there?
lot.
There's like
There's
4.
There's
four.
9 Transformers.
No,
No, there's
no,
not. There's 4.
There's 4.
kidding.
The
I think
first
they
one was
should've
awesome. The second one was ugh.
Okay,
The
the
first
third
one
one.
was- This last one, wait, the one that just came out.
Mark Wall.
Was Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, like none of the original actual people are in it. Just
Go
I mean,
ahead.
like the.
Were you gonna say something, Marcus?
No.
Okay, so our last question was: will Star Wars: The Force Awakens take number 1 in less time than all these other ones?
Well,
Most-
it already had a lot of sales even before its showing.
Yeah, I would-
So
I think it made
that says-
16 million today.
That says a lot.
Yeah, I
That
would.
says a lot.
Yeah, if you consider this is going to be around the United States with millions of fans probably in each city that it's showing in, it's gonna. I think they're gonna be able to pack the.
It's gonna be
theater
packed this
every single day for at least
whoever,
this week.
okay, and well, actually, I beg to differ about who's gonna take tonight the spot this weekend because we have 2 big films opening: Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and Alvin and the Chipmunks. That one's
Right.
opening. That one opens tomorrow also.
I didn't even
Oh
know
my
there was
God!
another Alvin.
Why would you? Why would you?
And you know what? Actually, last week I was on a podcast with another friend, and we were talking about the same thing of why do they pick they pick some dates that are just like super illogical.
Yeah,
like
Christmas Day. The movie with Will Ferrell with
Stepdad.
Stepdad.
Oh, the stepdad.
That one
I
was
was like,
hilarious.
yeah.
I'm gonna go watch that one.
But they choose like really illogical times. Like not so long ago, that's what we were talking about Rise of the Tomb Raider, and it came out like right next to Fallout 4, so we completely crushed Tomb Raider. Like Fallout got like I think like
So
5
nobody
billion.
probably nobody even knows that Tomb Raider came out.
No, pretty much because Fallout got like 5.6 billion in the first day, in the first 24 hours, and Rise of the Tomb Raider got like 300,000 or something like that. So that's why they're like a lot of people are mad, not just in the video game industry, but also like in the movie industry, because they choose to put out these movies right next to a complete freaking giant that is so.
Well,
obvious
actually,
that's
that I heard. I just got an email. Right, I mean, I was tagged on Facebook again. That Quentin Tarantino, the director of The Hateful Eight, is super upset because out in LA there is this theater, which is an old school. It's been there forever, but it still shows it on what is it?
38 millimeter.
38 millimeter, and so Quentin Tarantino has always had all of his movies have shown there, and. What happened was I saw it on Howard Stern. Actually, let me find it so we can hear what it's going to say because I don't want to mess anything up. But what happened was that Quentin Tarantino usually shows his movie, but Disney told the theater, if you don't show it, we'll never show any of our products, anything Disney, anything nothing, ever again in any of your theaters. If you honor your contract with Quentin Tarantino, which you already did, but. Let me see. I have it here. Where is it? That's kind of sucky, though.
Well, that's the problem, kind of, with the whole film industry. That's the only reason why cable prices are high, is because they're all out for the money. You know, fighting for who gets the rights to what and who gets all the money from what. So it's just kind of hurts the consumer, and it kind of hurts the movie industry to some extent.
I think I found the. Let's listen. Let's listen up. Let's see if we can hear it.
I just learned something the other day. It was real bad news, and it really fucking pissed me off. And I think I want to.
Sorry for the words.
The forum is yours.
Basically, and I'm not talking about the whole country, but I'm talking about one theater in particular.
You sound nervous about this.
Well, it's a big fucking deal.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so we were going to play at the Cinerama Dome on the 25th. We were going to open there and play there exclusively for 2 weeks. And Star Wars was going to play the 2 weeks before us. And I grew up in Los Angeles, so I think of the Cinerama Dome as a real big deal, and imagine seeing it at the Cinerama Dome.
Means something to you.
Exactly.
Right.
Disney, who owns Star Wars, decided, well, you know what? Maybe we want to play throughout the entire holiday season. And not, so we're going to go to the Cinerama Dome and say that they can't honor their contract with us to show the Hateful Eight. And the ArcLight people that own the Cinerama Dome said, no, you can't do that. We have a deal with the Hateful Eight people, and showing it in 70, that's what we do. We have the 70 millimeter projectors. They didn't have to move them in. That's the thing.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting a call. Let me. I'm sorry, I was playing it from my phone. Let me put it on Do Not Disturb. And
Cinerama logo at the beginning. As of yesterday, Disney came to the ArcLight people and said, no.
Wow.
You are going to play Star Wars in the Cinerama Dome for the entire holiday season. And if you honor your deal with the Hateful Eight, we will not allow you to have Star Wars. The biggest movie in the world, we will not allow you to show it at any of your ArcLight movie theaters.
So in your mind, that's petty because they've got a big blockbuster on their hands.
They've got the biggest movie in the world. We're talking about one effing theater. They are going out of their way to fuck me.
Quentin, in all fairness, I must say, there's nobody from Disney here to refute that or to say.
No, but as far as I'm concerned, then let all the entertainment reporters call up Disney as of now and ask for their comments about their extortionist practices.
Listen, Bob. I'm talking to Bob Iger.
He's talking to Bob Iger. He's calling Bob Iger
Quentin's
the
a
CEO
weirdo.
of Disney.
Sorry, Quentin. The fucking kid, they got the stupid 70 millimeter. They got all that shit that he cares about. He just wants to show his goddamn movie there. You're sitting on top of the world. You got Star Wars. What do you need this? Do me a favor, Bobby, for me. And we've had many private conversations. I fucking partied with this guy over at Jimmy Kimmel's. Bobby.
It would be gracious.
Be a gracious man. I want Quentin to show this new movie. He's worked his ass off. He wants the equipment. Hateful Eight. Would you do it for me? All right? Christmas. It's Christmas. Christ's sake.
So that was Quentin Tarantino explaining what happened. Is that that's kind of a dick move?
It happens.
But it
happens
happened
all the time in corporations.
Tell us why, Marcus. What happens?
Well, it always becomes about the profits. I mean, when you start getting, big, and you start investing lots of money in different projects, or you start, you just know what billions of dollars a year or a quarter come in. You start kind of wanting to push and get even bigger, get more money. You start getting a little greedy with it. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird corporate mentality. It just happens to everyone.
But I mean, I don't blame them for what they're doing, because eventually they're gonna get any money. I mean, if it's just one theater, if we're talking about, let's say, probably a deal with like Cinemark, which is like nationwide, then everyone would be freaking out because, dude, that's a lot of money that's gonna be lost. But if it's just this one,
I wouldn't even care. Like, I'm just like, you know what? Take your Hateful Eight. Like, we're still gonna make money off of 99.9%
Now,
of the other theaters.
okay, now for somebody who does not know a lot about film, I mean, what is the 70 mil? Is that the 70 millimeter?
Well, okay, so it used to be 38 millimeter.
This is Marcus. He knows a lot about film because he's a filmmaker.
What the film sizes just mean is how big the picture is. They before the day of digital, the 1920 by 1080p, the standard HD.
I have no idea what that means, but okay, good.
Instead of talking about like pixels, the 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels, they would measure by the actual size of the film that they were filming in. So a 38 millimeter would be smaller than a 70 millimeter, but you would alter it based on the size of the moment that you want to capture and the amount of light that you would want to bring in. Instead of like adjusting your sensor size or the standard resolution higher.
So do you see why? I mean, as a director, you could see why he would be upset because he always shows his movie theaters, and
if it's like his tradition to do that, then and after a while it's like, what, we're not doing it again. Then he'd be like, what the?
Yeah, and I mean, I would also be upset because it takes time because we would be filming it today in modern the 1920 by 1080 digitally. It would be on an SD card, and then you download it.
Yeah.
So then to have to transfer it over to film, well, that's the whole process. You have to buy film. You have to go through the process. You have to get the whole thing.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So like to spend all that time and then find out that
like you're just not gonna do. If you make a film, let's say if you make a film and you put it in a disc, and they're like, you know what, I want it on this disc, like DAISK, like the old ones that you popped into the square ones.
Yes.
You're gonna be like, well, from a CD to an actual like old
floppy, like a floppy disk.
Yeah, exactly, floppy disk. You'd be
like,
why would I want
to? 3.5? Was that wasn't it a 3 point? Whatever. Okay, floppy disk.
But yeah, it's pretty much like if you use that analogy, as in to transfer it from CD to a floppy disk, you'll be like, well, like that's another process to do. I mean, not exactly like that, but I mean,
La India Maria just walked in, but.
Yeah, so it takes time, it takes resources, and so then
they're just not gonna do it. It's too late now, either way.
As you said right now, you mentioned floppy disks. That's how old I am. I still remember turning in.
I knew about that. That's
some work on floppy disk. But continue. So that's why he's upset. Which
partially,
Alex,
yeah.
what do you think about this whole debacle?
About
about the movie.
Are we still talking about the
guy being pissed?
Oh, I think he has every right to be, because that is like messed up, even though Star Wars is like this huge movie. But if he was promised that he would have the theater, and then they're taking advantage of the fact that Star Wars is so huge, and they're like, oh well, if you're not gonna do this, acting like a 6-year-old,
I mean,
saying if I can't get
I
this.
see that he's going, like, he's standing his ground because he's like, you know what, I don't even care if it's Star Wars. Like, if they're not gonna do it legally or the right way, I don't even care if they're. I don't care if they're gonna make a billion.
That sucks, because if they sign a contract with the
Yeah.
Hateful Eight people, and then Disney come and tell you, hey, if you honor that contract, and that company has a lot of theaters around the. Imagine, dude, that sucks. Like, really, like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I know a lot of you.
Yeah,
know
but
what
I mean, and that if you have a contract, like if Disney has a contract and Quentin has his contract, I mean, you can't really do anything about it. It's all written on paper. I mean, then it would become legal issues, and then that would be movie issues, which would affect us, the consumers. So then it would be like a big, like cluster fudge of legal issues.
Yeah, and I'm also assuming that The Hateful Eight is probably going to be a much, much smaller movie.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know how many people have actually heard of the movie, or would actually go
It
see
looks
it.
good.
But,
I will say that.
No,
I mean,
yeah, it looks good.
Anything
But, I mean,
Quentin Tarantino is good.
yeah, but it's not like something that they can really sell merchandise on, or like they
It's
don't
not
have
Star
other
Wars
avenues to make money
It's not
with.
Star Wars good. It's just not.
Yeah,
Nothing is. If you
it would
think
just be
about
its
it.
own movie. So,
But
like,
see, a lot of the times, like the other last year, or not last year, when what was the other movie that he did? Django.
Django Unchained.
It came out at the same time as a big movie came out, and I remember that Django didn't get first place.
But then afterwards.
But the other movie did. The other movie did. It got first place, and like for 3 weeks. But the movie that was reigning champion didn't make the critics hated it, but the Django movie was it was like
Django was
4 out of
amazing.
5 out of 5, like all the stars.
Django
It
was
was 2
great.
thumbs up, all that. So that's when I get sad. I'm like, wow, I'm like, damn. It used to be making movies because we wanted to make movies. Now they just make movies to see what makes. There's no like story quality, and that sucks. You kids don't remember.
They sort of get rid of a lot of out of the storytelling factors and everything that has to do with the characters and everything, because I recently found out that it's like 3.2. No, I'm lying. It's like 31.7 million, something like that, to make the next Pirates of the Caribbean movie, the fourth.
Is
or
it
fifth
Caribbean or Caribbean? I don't even know. What
It's Pirates of the. Well, I don't
Caribbean.
know. I've just always heard it pronounced Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, and
but
then-
then like the
Caribbean.
actual place, I've heard it pronounced Caribbean.
Caribbean. That's all.
The technical, the actual term is Caribbean, but I don't know. But anyways, so they're spending like a lot of money on making the sets and whatnot and all of this. So I mean, they're putting their efforts into it, but then afterwards they're like, well, this better be worth it. This better sell off and everything, you know. And so
We
it's
better
sort
get
of-
our monies. We
Yeah,
better
exactly.
make our money back.
So it sucks that they're looking at it not like as sales
Story,
wise.
yeah.
Like they're not like putting any like it. I mean, they have to put effort into a story, obviously, but not as much as they put into the sales, which is what sucks because you're
Like I'm like
that
for
should
example
not
for
happen.
for when Jurassic Park came out, the first one, I'm pretty sure they were then like, oh, we gotta make this movie to make it blockbuster.
Yeah.
No, it was this movie's gonna be, and it was, and I remember watching it. I still remember when I first that movie changed also my way of like damn, I want to be an actor.
Yeah, it's true. Like
Yeah.
a lot of
But a lot of those
new
movies,
things-
what nowadays, like again, I'm like these kids nowadays. I'm being salty toward the Fast and Furious movies. But really, I want to be a
No,
shaven
those are just
douchebag
repetitive
who
and
has
have their own
cars.
story within their own movie. And
And now
that's-
let's go to
It started out
Tokyo.
with racing.
It is
and
what
then
it is.
By the 6th movie, there was some sort of tank thing. I
How
was
did-
like,
where did the Rock come into that? That's what
it's
That's
just
where I
like,
got lost.
Oh yeah, racing. Guys, you know what? Put a tank in there. Send it off to Hollywood. Go.
Let's put a huge bodybuilder that's went from like this children movie person.
They went too much. Like they just tried to expand the universe of it, and it just
Add
came to
Nation,
just not
so
happening.
no one gets offended.
If they wanted,
At a Mexican, Michelle Rodriguez, which is, I put this on my Twitter once. Is it weird that I found Michelle Rodriguez, hot, attractive? You know who that is, right? You know who Michelle Rodriguez is?
It's in Fast and Furious. It's Vince's wife.
Letty.
Yeah.
Letty, yeah, that's her.
I've never seen any of the Fast and Furious movies.
Me either. I haven't seen any of it. My wife's seen it, but my wife was a gangster, so be careful.
She's a
Legit,
gangster.
my wife was from Canutillo. She'll shank you.
Did you watch NWA?
Dude, last time we went to go have dinner. I don't remember. We went to play some old school jams, like rapper, like I look when you come in big pop or something. And she was like jamming to him, like, damn, dude, you're a ghetto. And then she puts on that. What'd you say? Nothing, dear. I love you. Love you. But yeah, my wife is she's a thug.
But I mean, yeah, that's what's cool about like, I guess back then they just made their movies, and if it sells, great. If it doesn't, cool. But I mean, they put their heart and their dedication to the movie.
Well, going to the El Paso Plaza Classic Film Festival, the show.
Which, by the way, for those of you listening to us outside of El Paso, we have the the Plaza,
Classic
El
Film
Paso
Fe-
Classic Plaza Film
El Paso
Festival.
Plaza Classic Film Festival.
That. And Marcus, little parentheses here. Marcus is a avid contributor and reviewer, and he's always at these things. So when I went to meet, what was it?
Robert Wagner is who you
Robert Wagner, a classic actor. I went to go meet him. I felt like I was walking around with the president because everybody knew Marcus. The director of the program was like, Marcus, darling, come meet Robert. And I'm over here standing next to him like, he was my student. Take me. This guy was pimping. He had all the all access. He like, oh, Mikhail, let's go. Took me through secret tunnels. And I'm like, this guy was legit. I was like, this guy is, he met Rita Moreno.
I've met Shirley Jones.
Shirley Jones, who was in
The Music Man.
In the music, well, Lucy, we have some theater nerds here. The Music Man, and who else?
I've
Robert
also
Wagner.
and Margaret O'Brien from Meet Me in St. Louis.
Okay. That's another good musical.
Yes.
Is that Rodgers and Hammerstein? No.
No, that was, I don't remember the composer, but it was.
Okay.
an
And who else?
Yeah. And then let's see, there was another one that I met that year too. But there was Robert Wagner and.
And before I barged into about the Plaza, you were saying about the Plaza.
Yeah. Okay. So going to the Plaza Classic Film Festival, I noticed that a lot of the old movies that they're showing have based on the novel by. So it's like I never noticed that before. That it's like so many movies were based on a book at some point in their life. So I guess that's where the story really came from. Seems like nowadays you see less of that based on the novel by and more of the written
Based
by.
on a weekend that I was in Mexico now. It's just like they just throw stories.
Based on the first one that we made.
Yeah.
Or based on the original version that we made.
But I mean, there's very few films that actually carry on, I guess, that legacy of a book, because now a lot some of the movies that are based on novels, we're pretty good, but then nowadays it's just they're not. They're it would be based on a true story or.
For example, a good movie that came out last year or 2 years ago that was from a book, and I'm not talking about 50 Shades of Grey. I'm not talking about that.
It could be.
Gone Girl.
Yes.
Yes.
I
did not read the book. I did not read the book, but the movie.
The book was weirder.
I heard
It
the
was.
movie
Book
was
strange.
was executed in a way where I was like, damn. I did not see that coming because I never read the book. One of the ladies that works here said the book was even more gruesome. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But that's a good example of a book being portrayed in film as good as a book.
Yeah.
Is there any other one?
Well, just as another thing too is that a lot of the movies kind of also seem to balance more on what they can do with special effects, CGI versus kind of the classic. I kind of go back to the example of Gone with the Wind. I couldn't imagine a modern day version of Gone with the Wind. I don't know.
It's just not gonna happen.
It had an all-star cast. They did their own stunts. They actually burned a building during the fire scenes. So I couldn't see them pulling off something like that. They focus more on it's kind of starting to wear off now with the CGI, where it's okay, cool. There's a giant team of people that sat at a computer and made a movie.
So yeah, I mean, it's different when you some things that are written. Written they're portrayed in films as into based on books or based on novels or based on even real events. But I'm guessing there's odd portrayals sometimes. With Gone with the Wind, that definitely if that were to be made modernly, you'd just be this is not what it should be. Because back then it was I guess it just sets a different tone, especially with the book, since it's, I don't know, Gone with the Wind is such it's a memorable movie. I think it's weird, personally, but every time I see a film and I'm just yeah, well, if you put it with Gone with the Wind, then it would be what the hell. But I guess it's also the different time sets, because this time as of right now, everything's CGI. Everything's until this past one stunt that Tom Cruise did in his last Mission Impossible, which was pretty cool, because nobody does that nowadays.
Nobody does their own stunts. No, sorry, I'm joining back.
Everybody's yeah, whatever, and I'm no, it's not whatever. Stop. That doesn't happen. It's not happen until the last time somebody did a stunt, it was I forgot his name, but the guy from 007.
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. Yeah, Daniel Craig did one stunt, I think, at the beginning of the movie, in Skyfall where he was being chased with the motorbikes, and that was real. So everyone was like, "Oh, like whatever." I'm just like, "No, like this does not happen."
Yeah.
Going back to, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just walked in again in the middle of this conversation. A lot of people don't like Tom Cruise, but I've liked
that guy has
every
dedication
Mission
for stuff.
Impossible movie.
Yeah, that guy
This
has
last one was
dedication.
very good. My favorite is Ghost Protocol, but this one was up there. That scene, dude. I mean, it was a.
Especially when I saw it, I had like the thought of him like actually doing it, like the stunt.
Yeah, 'cause you
And
know-
yeah, exactly.
you know
and I
it's
was
not-
Like, oh my
yeah.
god, that must be so freaking scary. So yeah, like he has dedication. Everybody thinks he's overrated and whatnot.
Yeah, just
but I
because
mean,
he's a Scientologist.
Hey, but he's talked
Like what's his name from Nacho Libre? I believe in science.
Oh,
I believe in
but
God. I believe in science.
I think that he's talked over a lot because of a reason. Like he's really good and he's dedicated throughout all his stuff. Just like Leonardo DiCaprio, he hasn't won like an Oscar.
Yes, he hasn't won.
He
Okay,
still
let's
hasn't
talk
won an
about
Oscar.
actors who have
But
not won an
Django, God man, he
Django?
actually cut his hand in Django.
Yes,
and
and
that guy
Django
kept
Unchained.
Going, man.
Leonardo DiCaprio. That was one of his, and it was
That was ridiculous. Like that's dedication.
two movies right now. My two of my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movies, The Departed, and Django.
Yes, because have you seen that movie, Marcus? Django
I haven't.
Unchained?
I haven't seen either of the ones.
let
That,
you-
One on the asylum.
No, that's
Island. Or Shutter
that's
Island.
Shutter Island. That was a that.
Yeah.
It wasn't Martin Scorsese's best, but whatever.
But
Shutter Island's
but
a
that
really
movie,
weird
that
one.
movie and that
Mhm,
scene
where you
with
see, like, they're,
Leonardo
like, in a
DiCaprio,
hospital or something like that, yeah.
It's crazy because he just kept rolling. Like his hand was actually cut.
They see me rolling,
bleeding, and they didn't cut it. He just kept going, like for a good 15 and 20 minutes, and then he like approaches his maid from like the back, and he like rubs all his blood like on her, and she's like actually terrified. But the guy, like he's it's just so good. Like you need to see that. Like when you see it, keep that in mind. You'll be like, what the hell? But that's really good. Like that's not breaking character whatsoever. So yeah, he has good dedication.
We now have been recording for 1 hour and 20 minutes. We have talked everything about Star Wars, Titanic, different things. We're gonna have to be. We have 15 more minutes because we're gonna start a show here in the theater. But summing up, I'm gonna ask this question to each and every one of you here in the studio. Starting with Bailey. Quick, Bailey, your favorite movie that you said. Okay, because most of you are actors or in tech. What was the movie that you said, this is what I want to do, dancing or acting? What was it? What movie was that for you? Speak loud.
Probably the Michael Jackson movie, This Is It.
Really? How old were you when that came out?
Like 11.
Okay. All right. Okay. Marcus? That got you in because Marcus is an actor. He's actor. He's in tech. He took many film courses and film. He was in film festivals and is part of the committee for the Positive Film Festival. What movie?
Okay. The reason I wanted to study film and do film is because I wanted to outdo James Cameron's Titanic. After I watched that, I was like, someone has to do it better.
And it does, and it has nothing to do box office wise, story wise.
Just story wise, the story.
How many? Tell me the percentage of that movie being factual.
Okay, the actual sinking of the ship is probably the most factual that we have been able to put together. With the splitting apart, it's the only movie that they've actually shown the Titanic split in two.
That really happened.
Yes, that really happened, and some of the people that they introduced really existed on that ship. But
the captain,
the captain, Thomas Andrews, Bruce Ismay, the people that they actually focus on in the movie, that where they actually say this name, that name. But beyond that, they just kind of focus more on the Jack and Rose story, which didn't happen. And one thing that I always joke about is that we always learn why the Titanic sank. It's because Jack and Rose kissed in front of the lookouts and distracted them.
Yeah.
That is what you get out of that movie.
Yeah.
That's what I get out of that movie anyway. There was an actual British film, though, that they made called A Night to Remember that just focused. Walter Lord wrote a book in the 50s that he interviewed all the survivors that were alive at that point, which was, I forget how many, like 60 or something like that. He interviewed all of them, and it's like the most survivors that existed at one time. And he put all their stories together. They adapted it into an actual British film where a couple of survivors came in and helped them film. And the son of Second Officer Charles Lightoller, who came in, and his father had passed away a couple of years before, but he actually trained Kenneth Moore, the actor who played Second Officer Charles Lightoller in the movie, and he said he was a perfect likeness for him. So
This is more of the Titanic that you knew, huh? He knows everything about the Titanic.
So I recommend it.
So for him, Titanic. Jordan. Jordan, as he was, were you ever in a play? No.
Which play?
In our plays, were you ever an actor in a play? No, but he does tech. He did it as a student and professionally. Go ahead.
What was it?
Movie that you said, "Oh my God, this movie did something to me."
Movie wise, gosh, man, that's hard. It would probably be not actor wise. Actor wise would be a different, but since I was more part of tech, it would be the first time I saw Transformers, the very first one. Like the effects.
The first one, not the other 10.
No, the first one.
Alex.
I was completely like blown away. I was like, this movie looks amazing. And it's the most that I've ever seen.
Because
like,
a lot of people were like iffy about like, what are they gonna? They're gonna destroy
exactly.
Transformers because.
And then I saw it
in the cartoon,
like, these guys look huge.
Yeah,
and they have like all these moving parts and like I thought
And the guy, I mean, for me, I don't know for you people, but the guy who did the voice of Optimus Prime is the guy who did in the cartoon. So for me, I was like,
it's a comic.
It's not for not for like somebody like, oh, I don't know what it's supposed to say. Alex,
can you repeat the question?
What movie that you like? Oh my God, this movie changed my life.
Okay, well, there is because I heard two questions, like what made me want to be a tech, or like what?
Yeah, what? No, but.
Well, you could link those two together.
Yeah, you can link them
What
together.
inspired you to be a tech of a movie? Like.
Well, it wasn't really a movie. It was like a play, but it wasn't necessarily the play itself. It was just seeing how everything works.
Which
like,
play was that?
It was when my sister was going to El Paso High. Her school was putting on this. It was like their version of Beauty and the Beast, and I don't really remember it, but I remember she was friends with like one of the stage managers. She was friends with the stage manager, so.
Was it the summer musical or the actual?
No, I think it was like during the actual. I was like 10 or something, because I think my sister was like a freshman. Yeah, or something like that. I don't know, but yeah. So I was just behind
The scenes. So
yeah,
you remember
behind the scenes.
A lot of kids. It's that theater-wise. There's a lot of kids who've never been to a actual Broadway performance.
Yeah.
A teacher, I kudos to that teacher, and I remember what school it was, but it was a Crystal who used to work with us here. Her little sister, Wicked, came to town, and the teacher spent the whole year fundraising to be able to take his kids to watch Wicked. Once a kid that young sees an actual show like
when
Wicked,
you get involved, that young,
watch when you see it for like that
it impacts you a lot.
Yeah, that the force awakens in you. So like, this is what I want to do. Because Bailey right here, for example, she is a dancer, an actress, and until a couple of years, up to this year, she didn't know a lot about musicals. Did you?
Not until February.
Not until February. If that would have been awakening her a long time ago, she wouldn't be here. She would be out in LA right now. I'm not being stupid. I'm being dead serious.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Because and movie wise too. For me, it was. I don't think you guys know this movie. The movie was.
Okay, movie that inspired you.
Movie that inspired me, and you're probably gonna laugh. Batman Returns.
No,
I
believe it.
When I saw Batman Returns, I think it has to do a lot with Tim. I'm a big Tim Burton fan. But when I saw the black tones of, that's why we don't play with. when I saw he did something to Batman that I don't think anybody. I mean, yeah, I like what's the good new director's movie? What's his name? The new
Ben
director.
Affleck?
No, the new director of the trilogy of the Batman Begins. What was his name?
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
yes.
Christopher Nolan. Yeah.
Well, anyways, but it was Batman Returns.
It's
and
there.
acting wise, that I said, oh, I want to be an actor, was Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. There's this 2-minute scene where they're in front of each other at a diner. There was more acting in that 2-minute scene than a lot of movies that I've seen. And yes. How about you, Victoria? What movie?
You can't put me on the spot like that.
Okay,
what was the
David.
question?
David, what movie for you?
Hands down, Dances with Wolves.
There's another classic right there. The book do you guys have to read it in school now?
Dances
with wolves. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, but
I haven't seen the movie yet.
yeah, I haven't seen the movie.
I
There
heard
is
it
a
was
movie.
really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's
How
all
old
in
is-
the
how old
native
is
tongue,
it?
right?
I've seen a translated version.
How old is it?
1990.
Jesus, I'm way behind.
And Kevin Costner directed it.
Yes.
And he won. They won. I think it was another. That's another movie that's stayed very close to the actual book. And I don't think that book is in the curriculum now.
Probably not.
No.
Is it a dark sort of matter, or is it?
No, it's not. It's just he dances with wolves. Duh. A lot of the books now in the curriculum, but when I was in school, was Dances with Wolves, Great Expectations, Romeo and Juliet, Odyssey, the House on Mango Street,
Oh, we just read that
The
one.
Pearl, Lord of the Moscas,
Oh yeah.
The Count of Monte Cristo,
Yes.
Edgar Allan
The Count
Poe.
of-
We did a big Edgar Allan Poe, which I bet you're all things dark. This chick looks, she's like spooky over here. She's like Edward Scissorhands, but what other book? I don't know what are you guys reading now in class?
Well,
We just finished House on Mango.
House
Oh
on Mango
my,
Street,
yeah,
art class.
we
did
read
you read?
of Mice and Men,
Oh,
House
I
on
didn't
Mango
see that.
Street.
That book
She
is
just finished
amazing.
To Kill a
Which
Mockingbird.
Of Mice and Men.
There's another one, To Kill a Mockingbird, which the movie was also a big.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was
History
wanted.
buff over here.
Yeah,
It
they chose a very good actor for
Yeah, it
it,
was
like Gregory
pretty
Peck.
Gregory Peck.
Yeah.
Funny 'cause
Harper
it was
Lee, it was either Harper Lee or like someone related to her. They came down and actually said that because Atticus Finch was kind of based on Harper Lee's father. So when she came down and saw Gregory Peck, she was like, "You're
my dad.
spitting image of
You're my dad.
You're the perfect Atticus."
You know
for
that's
this."
not who he was supposed to be at first.
Yeah,
The first
Chelsea.
draft that she wrote was actually like reflecting Atticus as a bad guy. But in her second book, she decided to like To Kill a Mockingbird, the one that was actually published, she put Atticus as a good guy, and that one got more like readers and
Look
more
at this
attention
girl. Did you
than-
learn that in class?
Yeah.
Who's your teacher?
Miss Brockman.
I love Miss Brockman. We're very good friends. Josh doesn't care for her that much. Sorry, Miss Brockman, if you're listening. Josh,
Gray.
Josh Gray. ID number 3.
Give good word. That's the thing. And
Okay, you know she's gonna hear this because this is on Facebook, right?
I don't.
Okay, Jordan had her.
I did.
Did you have her? Emily didn't have her.
No, she did not.
Felix had her, and Emmanuel had her.
Yeah.
Those are that's another long story. we don't
Cardoso
wanna get
had
into. And Cardoso had her too. Daddy Cardoso now. So summing up, in the 5 minutes we have left of this show. Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. I forgot Josh. What movie impacted you, Josh?
It wasn't a movie. It was it was actually the Broadway musical Wicked. My parents took me to see it, and I was like, I can do that better.
Okay. That's determination.
Wow.
Tech wise or
Both.
acting?
Both. Because I've known you like my entire life.
I have known this guy. He comes so
I don't
much.
know if you can rock a dress, but
I don't know if you can rock a Glinda dress. Look,
Go for it, dude.
this is Alex's laugh right there. You see it? That's how loud it is. And there he goes again. The lines are like this. It's going like this, and then she laughed, and that's your laugh right there. Because it was. Let me lower this a little bit here. Anyways, let me turn it this way just a skosh. There you go. Get everybody. Summing up in the last 5 minutes we have. There's a lot of movies that change your lives. Theater changes a lot of people's lives also, and as a professional actor, as Miss Tex, I'm just kidding. As a lot of you don't know, but I was in a novela many years ago called Muchachitas. I know nobody believes me, but I was. Anyways, you're gonna IMDb me. It's in Spanish. I don't think you'll find me. I wasn't a lead character. I was background. But I still got to see, dude. Like, actors are way too
Changing.
Huh?
Changing now.
Nowadays, dude, they give. If you show your boobs or your butt, you're gonna get the role.
Oh yeah.
They don't care if you suck at acting, as long as you show your chichis.
You see that's what that's what I like a lot about nowadays. A lot about motion capturing, because in motion capturing, These got nothing to do with your looks.
Exactly.
Like
Southpaw.
nothing. You just have to know
If
your
you're a good actor,
Yeah, like
you can do anything.
Like next year, Uncharted 4 is releasing, and there's actually this controversy right now of them being racist because there's a character there that she's African American, but when they put the application out, they put they're looking for a female actor that can play this person, and that's her background, and that's it. So then a white actress came in and she did the job, and the director was like, "Yep, I want you to play that part." So she did the lines, she did the motion capture and everything. And afterwards, they found like a month later, they found out that it was an African American girl that she was playing. So everyone was like, "Why didn't you just get an African American girl?" But you see, that's what I like about motion capturing, that it has nothing to do with looks about anything. Like if you do your role correctly.
Right now that you're saying that, I don't know if you guys. There was this movie with Samuel L. Jackson. It was Shaft. It was a remake. The part that Vanessa Williams plays is she's Puerto Rican. She's Hispanic. She's Hispanic. Stop it! He's Hispanic. She's Hispanic. And everybody was up in arms because you have a why not cast a Latina lady playing it? It has to be, like I said, I love the black people. Joss, I'm gonna punch you in the face, seriously. But yeah, nowadays it's all about like you show
That's
your
why I
movies,
prefer.
you get.
That's why I like motion capturing a lot now because
Now,
it
but
shows
there's
their enthusiasm a
actors
lot.
that do show their stuff, but they're great actors.
Well, yeah, they already got their like their
moment of
attention. Yeah.
Yes.
Like if you see like if Leonardo DiCaprio like auditions or something, you know what you're getting.
You know,
Johnny Depp, you know what you're getting.
back in the day, Marcus, you know this. Big Cary Grant,
Clark Gable,
Clark
Vivian
Gable,
Lee,
Vivian Lee,
Marlon Brando.
The you know the founders of Earl Flynn,
Olivia de Havilland.
yes, and Olympia Dukakis. There was the other one. She was Hispanic. I forgot her name. She was in the Zorro movies, wasn't she? Anyways, nowadays, God, we've gotten off topic so much.
Okay,
But
wait, but I just wanted to add a little bit to that. So then, that's what we were talking about. New actors, whoever has their attention already, like they know what they're getting and whatnot when they audition for a role. But you see now that we see like going back to Star Wars in the Force Awakens, we see Flynn and Rey, which are like we know they're actors, but we don't know they're like super up there. But now that they're in Star Wars, they're expected to do a lot.
Yes.
Like
And like
in
we
order
said
to get
earlier-
a Star Wars role, you need to be up there, like up par with Han Solo
and
Carrie Fisher.
And like we were saying right now, these three main characters, Rey, Poe, and Finn. They're unknowns.
Yeah.
They've been in movies,
Yeah,
but
they've
like,
been in
you know,
movies, but nobody
commercials. and
knows.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
they haven't
now
had
they're
they haven't had a big movie, and this is their first big movie. And even the girl playing Rey, she said, this is way too much for me to handle. I mean, from going from one day
it's
being
crazy.
a actress to being the lead in Star Wars, it's like
It's a giant leap.
it's a giant.
It's one giant leap for.
In
for
closing,
actress kind.
In closing, for all of you that are listening to this all three of you listening to this podcast, what we want you to take is that go watch Force Awakens. It's going to change your life. I think it's going to change mine.
Again.
The
trailer already did.
it's 4.5 hours away from me going to watch the movie. I'd like to thank my guests from out of town, Marcus, and Ian had to leave because his sister made him. Great dancer, singer, actress, Bailey Rodriguez. Let's hear it for Bailey. Yay. One of my ex-students, a good friend and a partner in crime, Jordan Alvarado. You can find him weekly at the Plaza Theater, loading in and setting up for anything that comes in through the Civic Center or the
that passes
Plaza.
through Wynn Wild.
Anything that passes through Wynn Wild. And I have India Maria over here, Victoria, a stage manager, who looks like she was attacked by vampires in her neck, but I don't know what it was. Thank you, Victoria. Our executive producer, Alex Weary. She's into goth. She's into everything black. She loves Tim Burton. I've never been to her house, but I'm like, if I walk into her room, she probably has no
I don't
light.
think you ever will.
No.
No, there's no
and
light.
If she does, it's probably covered with like gel of.
Yeah, she probably stole some gels from here and she has them all up in the. And we have the diva of divas, David Ortega, and he's currently at what club are you performing? I'm just kidding. He plays the clarinet here at the Coronado Band. He's a good kid, good worker. He tends to disappear a lot, but whatever. And closing up, go watch movies. It doesn't have to be Star Wars. Go watch movies. If you get a chance to go to theater to watch a musical, go. And even if it's, ¿cómo se llama? High school theater or professional theater, go out there. I guarantee you it's going to change your life.
Expand your
This
horizons.
has been Star Wars Before and After Afterthoughts. I am Miguelito, what was that? I'm sorry. I'm Miguel, the head of this tech club thing that's going on. And hopefully we can have more time to record some podcasts. Actually, I think we're going to come on Monday. Connor said he could, and Ashley might. And I don't know if you guys can. Because we're going to post our thoughts about Star Wars.
So I can come on Monday.
We're gonna talk about. We already talked about what we want to watch and see on Star Wars, and on Monday we're gonna be like, were we satisfied with the movie?
We should also. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write questions like before of what I'm expecting.
Yes.
To see if any of my predictions are correct.
Yes, and we should start a pod actually. Let's make this interesting. I'm just kidding. Okay, and it's gonna be time for us to wrap it up. Thank you for all of you who listened, all our guests. There was way too many people in the booth at one time, but thank you all, and I hope you guys enjoy The Force Awakens. Can you please play me out here? Nobody.
Your iPad's not.
Oh, let me play myself out because if you don't know what that means, I mean play me out as in let's play the music.
Like in Family Guy, the piano guys. Play me out, buddy.
And this has been Star Wars Before and After Tech Talk here at Coronado High School. Hope to hear from you soon again.